I don't think I ever have a particular set of points as to a character that I want to play. There's no hard and fast rules. It's will have to be something that hopefully sparks my interest, that I feel is outside of the kind of gender norms that we've seen portrayed in our entertainment. It's something that teaches us about what it is to be human. If I can see a spark of authentic humanity in the character, then that makes me really want to play it. I find the audition process incredibly difficult and intimidating. And it wasn't always something I had a huge amount of practice at either. I think as time has gone by, really just investing in the work and finding something that sparks your interest. I remember that's what my art teacher taught me, was make it personal. And then if you've got that to hang on to, then you can stop worrying about how you can't stop blushing and you want to go to the toilet all the time. A friend told me in 2011 that there was something written about me on the internet being in an HBO show. And so I looked it up. I'd never done anything like that before. And I saw all of these incredible fan forums featuring my name. I Googled the character. I thought you should just read the books first. That is my training, but I couldn't wait. I had to know what the character was. And that really blew my mind. The idea that there might be this portrayal of a woman in mainstream entertainment who was entirely unconventional, who was physically very strong, but that wasn't the most interesting thing about her. The most interesting thing about her is that that is coupled with a extreme sensitivity and vulnerability. And whilst she was achieving these huge and impressive and deeply skilled physical feats, that she is slowly developing as a person, as a woman and as a human. It's like a sort of rite of passage that she goes through. And also it did examine what it is to be unconventional, particularly as a woman within society. What interested me the most, which George R. Martin did so brilliantly and David and Dan have done wonderfully, is that it was about overcoming the obstacle. It wasn't just about being mocked for being outside of society. It was about overcoming that obstacle and changing attitudes. And that made me want to play the part so badly. I then read all of Brienne's story. I read as much of the books as I could. I think I read up to the end of book 3. I read voraciously. I started physically training. This is all before the audition. How could I do anything other than take that amazing opportunity seriously? The second audition actually lasted maybe 5 minutes. And I thought, okay, so either I've got that or that just went so badly, so badly. I found out I got the job, and then the real work began. And I started training with the brilliant C.C. Smith, who's a coaching, directing, stuntman legend. And he taught me how to fight, how to sword fight. We worked on the way I walked, the way I held my body. And he really pushed me, so I was able to achieve things I never thought I could, like fighting a man that's 6'7" and weighs 22 stone. Sorry, Rory. Preparation can involve many, many different things. It can involve, as it has done most prominently on Game of Thrones, a lot of physical training. So I have done a lot of physical training and reside quite firmly in the physical world, which is not somewhere that I did before. And that's become a part of my life. However, I did go to Drama Centre London, which is a classical training with a method approach, and we did a lot of physical training there. And that's where I became first aware that the body is a tool to be used in its entirety. So the greater control you have over your body, the more precise your physical portrayal can be. And that isn't just about playing someone strong or someone that can do fighting or anything like that. It's really about maintaining control over a different physical attitude. When I first started on Game of Thrones, it wasn't a small production, but it wasn't the vast machine that it is now. But in those days where the show wasn't an enormous global success, for instance, you know, sort of working season 2, season 3, and it really felt like a group of actors thrown together, all working hard to craft the scenes, to get the most out of the scenes, to really work this drama and make that come to life. The key to successful collaboration with your other actors on set, I don't know. I mean, I think it's about being generous. Part of my training was about the ensemble, was about being part of an ensemble and about it not just being about you, but if you give the emphasis to other people, if you give the power to other people in the scene, if you're all doing that's when it starts to sing. And having a good laugh always helps. The writing has been absolutely incredible and I feel really privileged to have played that part and to have received that kind of writing to work with. The storyline with Jaime Lannister has been incredible. The scenes I've loved best have been my scenes with Nikolai Coster-Waldau because he's taught me so much about acting. I know you're going to love me saying that. But he has, mainly how not to do it. No, I'm joking. He has taught me so much and it's been amazing to have that sort of play going on, but to work with an actor who's so committed and so generous and so caring towards you and wants to make sure that you are safe and also to make you not safe. and I think the bathtub scene was an amazing scene. Actually getting to watch Nikolai's work at such close quarters and to leave myself open and really be deeply affected by that performance. Also fighting the bear, also fighting the hound. It's very difficult for me to talk about the most challenging aspects of being on the show because I am hugely lucky to have done such a thing. And I truly am grateful and it has changed my life. You know, that kind of overrides everything else because you're aware of how privileged you are to be in that position. It can be difficult, it can be tough. You know, you're outside a lot. I don't really mind that, but obviously, you know, there's a lot of costume to wear, and obviously a lot of the fights can feel quite real. Shooting those can be incredibly painful, but look at what it makes. So no complaints. Any kind of advice that I might give, and I certainly don't really feel like I'm the right person to do this, but one thing I have learned is never, 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 never give up. And never change the person that you are. Obviously, you know, evolve or die, but be your authentic self. And sometimes the world does change. And sometimes attitudes do change. I hope we see greater diversity on our screens. And I hope we see more developed characters for those other than the usual sorts of people we're used to seeing.